What if the pain that broke you was actually the making of you? What if every heartbreak, betrayal, abandonment, and insult wasn't meant to destroy you, but to awaken something inside you? What if the reason you're still haunted isn't because you're weak, but because you've been looking for strength in all the wrong places? Not in healing, not in truth, but in hiding. You were never meant to be untouched by pain. You were meant to become unbreakable because of it. Carl Jung didn't speak to the polished version of you, the curated self, the social media mask, the person who smiles while silently breaking inside. He spoke to the raw you, the buried you, the you that screams behind the polite nod, the you that still flinches when they raise their voice, or feels sick when you're alone with your thoughts. Jung understood a truth this world will never tell you. The greatest tragedy is not that we are wounded, it is that we are afraid to face the wound. We live in a time where strength is performed, not embodied, where people sell confidence like cologne and tell you to just stay positive while your inner world is on fire. But here is the truth. No amount of pretending will make you free, because your pain doesn't go away when you suppress it. It festers. It becomes your lens, your beliefs, your identity, until one day you realize you are not living your life. You are living your trauma's version of your life. And that, right there, is the moment Jung kicks in like thunder. He says, good, let it break. Because what breaks is not you. What breaks is the false self that was never yours to carry. This video is not here to make you feel good. It is here to wake you the hell up, to tear the bandage off and show you the scar is not a weakness, it is a map. And if you dare to follow it inward, to where your wounds live, your power is waiting. I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. That is your revolution. You don't become invincible by avoiding pain. You become invincible by transforming it, by walking straight into the wound and coming out whole. And the people who once had power over you, the past that once defined you, the pain that once dictated who you were allowed to be, they lose their grip, because now you have met yourself. So if you're tired of faking strength, if you're done with pretending to be okay, if you're ready to finally stop being ruled by the ghosts of your past, then this message is for you. You are not fragile. You are not broken. You are simply unfinished. Welcome to Psycoria. Let's begin. This video picks up where your last breakdown left you, on the floor, asking the one question that no therapist, book, or motivational quote ever truly answers. How do I become someone who can never be shattered by others again? Not temporarily numbed, not spiritually bypassed, not healed in the performative Instagrammable sense, but genuinely unbreakable from the inside out. Carl Jung didn't promise comfort. He offered confrontation. He saw that the path to power doesn't go around your darkness. It goes straight through it. This isn't a story about becoming better. It is about becoming whole. In this video, you will uncover why your most exhausting emotional patterns are actually unconscious loyalties to old wounds, how the world trained you to protect your trauma as if it were sacred, why avoidance is weakness disguised as control, and how real strength begins when you face what you most fear, and how Jung's concept of shadow work reveals a kind of psychological invincibility no one can steal from you. Most people spend their lives managing pain. Very few learn to transmute it into power. By the end of this video, you won't just understand your inner chaos. You'll know how to use it as fuel for your liberation. This isn't self-help, it is self-revolution. And if you've been quietly waiting for something real, something raw, rare, and irreversible, you just found it. Watch closely. Your real strength begins here. Let's be honest. You've survived things you don't talk about. The betrayal you brushed off. The abandonment you downplayed. The shame you buried so deep you forgot it was even there, until someone touched it with a glance, a silence, a word, and suddenly you're right back in it. Not rationally, not intellectually, physiologically. Your heart pounds, your throat closes, your thoughts blur. You're not responding to the moment. You're reliving a wound. And that's the first truth you need to hear. You are not triggered because you're weak. You are triggered because you are split. Split between the mask you wear and the wound you carry. Split between who you pretend to be and what you've never fully faced. And no amount of confidence, success, or spirituality can protect you from what you refuse to confront. Carl Jung said it plainly. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. So we do what we've been taught to do. We perform strength. We polish the surface. We become agreeable, impressive, untouchable. We play healed. And it works until it doesn't. Until someone ghosts you and the old abandonment floods in. Until someone criticizes you and the childhood wound awakens. Until you're praised, but still feel like a fraud. Because deep down, some part of you still believes, I'm not enough. And that's the paradox Jung devoted his life to unraveling. You will never be free from pain by avoiding it. You will never be whole by hiding the broken pieces. The more you avoid your wounds, the more they own you. They script your relationships, your self-worth, your reactions. And you don't even realize it, because it feels like you. That's the trap. You think you're living your life, but you're actually reliving your pain, with better clothes and more sophisticated defenses. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. You don't need another affirmation. You don't need to just let it go. You don't need to fake a mindset shift. You need to look into the eye of what hurt you and reclaim what it took. Because here's the brutal truth. What you don't face will haunt you. What you do face will heal you. This is not about dwelling in suffering. It's about reclaiming sovereignty over it. Because the pain isn't the problem. The fear of pain is. And that fear is what makes you fragile. What keeps you tiptoeing through life, over-explaining, people-pleasing, shutting down, lashing out, staying small. But once you stop running, once you turn around and face what you thought would destroy you, you find something else waiting. Power. Not borrowed power. Not performative strength. But real, quiet, unwavering wholeness. The kind that no one can give you, and no one can take away. And that is what this video is here to unlock. Not survival. Sovereignty. There is a lie buried so deep in our culture that it's become gospel. Unseen, unquestioned. It slips between headlines, handshakes, and hollow smiles. A lie so insidious, we build our identities around it. The belief that true strength is untouchable. That power is the absence of pain. That peace comes from escape. That healing means staying clean, quiet, composed. But that's not strength. That's a cage. And Carl Jung, fierce, unrelenting, spiritually surgical, saw right through it. He didn't flinch. He didn't flatter your illusions. He looked into the abyss most people spend their whole lives avoiding. And he didn't just survive it. He brought back fire. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Let that land. Let it rattle the silence inside you. This isn't poetic. It's a warning. You will not awaken by ascending. You will awaken by descending into the places within yourself that terrify you. The places you've spent decades distracting yourself from. The grief you silenced. The rage you buried. The shame you swallowed so you could still be loved. Here is the truth most people die before they understand. Your pain is not your prison. Your pain is your path. Not the agony itself, but the courage to walk into it, to feel it without flinching, to integrate it instead of exiling it, to stop trying to conquer the wound, and instead become the one who listens to it, holds it, transforms it, because that's where the power lives, not in avoidance, not in numbness, but in the moment you stop running, when you meet your wound with presence instead of panic, when you stop negotiating with your shadow and start owning it. That's the moment you begin to become whole. And wholeness, that's invincibility. Not bulletproof, not untouchable, but undivided, rooted, clear, on fire with self-possession. Because you're no longer at war with the parts of yourself you thought you had to kill in order to survive. You are not fragile because of what happened to you. You are fragile because you've never gone back to reclaim what those moments stole. You've left pieces of yourself everywhere, in the silence of a parent, in the betrayal of a lover, in the fist you didn't deserve, and the apology that never came. And until you turn around, until you face the wreckage, you will stay fragmented, smiling on the outside, bleeding on the inside, pretending to be powerful while secretly begging to be saved. Jung saw through it all. He saw the shadow, not just in criminals, addicts, or broken people. In you, in me, in everyone. And he knew, the more you run from it, the more it controls you. And the more you face it, the more it reveals. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. Because that means meeting the monsters you've disowned, the rage you judge, the lust you suppress, the envy, the panic, the grief, all the energies you were taught to hide, medicate, or deny. But here's the paradox Jung revealed. The very darkness you buried holds the light you've been begging for. Your intuition, your clarity, your raw instinct, your self-worth, your wild, unapologetic fire. It's not waiting in your next win, your next lover, your next spiritual trend. It's buried in the one place you've refused to look, within. And the second you stop reaching outward, the second you stop trying to outthink your suffering, and instead feel it, you begin the real work, the work of individuation, of becoming not perfect, but whole, of walking the razor's edge between your darkness and your divinity, and learning how to hold both with open hands. No more masks, no more people-pleasing, no more shape-shifting just to feel safe. This isn't about becoming a better version of yourself. This is about burning everything you were never meant to be, so the real you can finally walk free. And that is psychological alchemy. Not therapy, not mindset hacks, not fake positivity, but the sacred, relentless transmutation of suffering into sovereignty. You don't escape the dark. You enter it, eyes wide, soul burning, voice trembling but true. And you rise, not untouched but undeniable. This is the path to invincibility. This is how you stop breaking. This is how you become. And the path begins now. Not when you're ready, now. We live in a world that worships appearance and hides the wound. A world where people don't heal, they perform healing. Where strong means unfazed, vulnerable means marketable, and self-love is reduced to slogans plastered over selfies. We are emotionally overstimulated, but spiritually starving. Digitally connected, but psychically fragmented. Desperate to be seen, but terrified to be known. We have never had more tools for self-improvement, yet we are drowning in anxiety, shame, and disconnection. Why? Because we're treating symptoms. We're scrolling past our pain. We're editing our suffering into aesthetic reels. We're calling ourselves resilient, while still ruled by the trauma we refuse to name. We are curating lives, while bleeding out just below the caption. Jung's message is a direct confrontation with this modern disease. Your vision will become clear only when you look into your own heart. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes. And that's the crisis. We've been taught to dream our way out of pain, to manifest, meditate, and mindset hack our way around the wound. But the wound doesn't go away when you ignore it. It waits, it festers, and it infects every part of your life, your relationships, your confidence, your identity. Until one day, you realize you are living on a leash held by ghosts you never dared to confront. This is why Jung matters right now. Because he didn't offer comfort. He offered confrontation. He didn't offer quick fixes. He demanded transformation. And in a world obsessed with ease, that makes him dangerous. Because what he asks of you is brutal. To descend, to dig, to face the unbearable. and not flinch. But that's exactly why his wisdom is oxygen for the soul today. In a culture of filters, he demands depth. In a culture of performance, he demands truth. In a culture of comfort, he demands courage. And we are starving for it. We're tired of being strong only on the surface. Tired of chasing dopamine and calling it healing. Tired of pretending we're fine when we're one heartbreak away from collapse. We want something real. And Jung gives it to us. With fire and fury. There is no coming to consciousness without pain. This is the medicine we've been avoiding. And it's the only one that works. Because when you stop hiding from yourself, you stop being ruled by others. You stop bleeding over people who didn't cut you. You stop over-explaining, over-giving, and overdressing your wounds. You stop living for approval and start living from truth. This is not a philosophy. It is a rebellion against the lie that wholeness can be downloaded, faked, or bought. You don't need another hack. You need a reckoning. And it starts with one question. Will you keep curating your pain for attention? Or will you face it and become unshakable? This is why Jung isn't just relevant. He's revolutionary. And he's not just speaking to the world. He is speaking to you right now. This isn't just theory. It's survival. If you don't live this, your wounds will keep running the show. Quietly, invisibly, relentlessly. So here's how to stop performing strength and start building it. 1. Catch the flinch. Every time something stings, someone ignores you, disrespects you, talks over you, pause. That emotional flinch you feel, it's not about them. It's your wound being touched. Don't react. Don't spiral. Just ask, what part of me just got activated? This is your shadow speaking. And when you hear it, really hear it, you begin to reclaim the parts of yourself you thought were lost. 2. Name the wound, then sit with it. You don't heal what you won't name. Was it abandonment? Rejection? Being unseen? Don't dress it up. Don't intellectualize it. Feel it. Write about it. Cry through it. Let it speak. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. This is how you stop being run by what you refuse to face. 3. Break the loop. Next time someone triggers you, don't default. Your past will whisper, please them, shut down, fight back. That's the old wound protecting itself. Now, do something radical. Choose differently. Speak your truth. Hold your boundary. Sit in the discomfort without flinching. Every time you respond consciously, you rewire your life. Every time you don't, you reinforce the chain. 4. Reconnect with the child you abandoned. The root of your pain isn't what happened. It's the part of you that was left alone in it. Go back for that child. Imagine them clearly. Talk to them. Hold them. Say what no one said. I see you. I'm here now. You're not broken. You were hurt. And that's not the same thing. Do this every day, even for 60 seconds. It changes everything. 5. Make the shadow your ally. Your anger, it's trying to protect you. Your jealousy, it's trying to point you toward your unmet needs. Your fear, it's trying to keep you safe. Don't exile your shadow. Learn from it. Jung believed the parts of ourselves we reject hold vital energy. Integrate them, and you become whole. 6. Create a daily descent ritual. Every day, carve out 10 minutes. Phone off. Eyes closed. No distractions. Ask yourself, what did I feel today that I tried to ignore? Where did I abandon myself to be liked or avoid conflict? What part of me needs to be heard right now? Then write. Breathe. Let it rise. This is the daily descent Jung spoke of. The slow, sacred unraveling of the false self. This is how you become invincible. Not because life stops hurting, but because you've stopped hiding. And when you stop hiding, you start living from a power no one can touch. Not the past, not your parents, not your ex, not your fear. Just you, whole, awake, unstoppable. The work begins now. You've been taught that strength means silence, that power means pretending, that healing means forgetting. But Carl Jung shattered that illusion. He showed us that what we avoid becomes our master, and what we face becomes our liberation. You are not fragile because you've been hurt. You are fragile because you've been hiding. And now, you know the truth. The wound is not your weakness. The wound is your way in. In every trigger, there's a teacher. In every breakdown, a breakthrough waiting to happen. In every part of yourself you've exiled. Rage, fear, longing, grief. There's raw, untapped power just waiting to be reclaimed. This is the core of Jung's legacy. I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. Your past is not a prophecy. Your pain is not a life sentence. You don't need to be unscarred to be whole. You need to be honest. You need to descend into yourself, not to fix who you are, but to remember who you were before the world told you to be small. To walk into your own shadow and come out not cleansed, but claimed, rooted, whole, real. This is how you become unshakable, not by bypassing pain, but by becoming the kind of person who can hold it all and still stand tall. Because when you stop hiding from the parts of you that hurt, you stop giving others the power to hurt you. You become psychologically sovereign, and from that place, no one can define you, manipulate you, or shrink you again. You are not here to be agreeable. You are here to be integrated, to be dangerous in the best way, calm, clear, and untouchable. And that begins when you stop running from yourself. So now the question is simple. Will you keep avoiding the parts of you that hurt? Or will you finally turn inward and rise from your own ashes? Because once you do, nothing and no one will ever hurt you again. This is the path of fire. This is the path of wholeness. This is the path of Jung. And it's calling you now. If this video moved you, if you felt something stir that you haven't felt in years, if you are ready to stop performing strength and start becoming it, subscribe to Psycoria. This is not a channel for the faint-hearted. This is for those ready to awaken, to go deeper, to stop being ruled by pain, and to rule from within. Because you were never meant to survive life silently. You were meant to become invincible. And once you walk that path, nothing and nobody will ever hurt you again. Until next time, stay relentless.